Was the English Civil War actually a revolution? Look at Crane Brinton's Anatomy of a Revolution, which is the outline of the structure of a revolution. The English Civil War is modeled exactly like it. But before that, let's refresh our minds of what happened during the war. The English Civil War is broken up into three parts. First is the Civil War, where the public hated their king, Charles I, and overthrew him. They did this to create the Puritan Republic, where everyone hated the leader, Oliver Cromwell. So they called for the restoration of the monarchy, which is when everyone was okay and just barely tolerated Charles II. Now, let's look at Brinton's outline of a revolution, which he says is compared to a fever. First, there are the symptoms or the causes. Second, the crisis or escalations. Third, the high point or radical phase. And fourth, the relapse, reactionary phase. The cause of the war is the unpopularity of Charles I and the want to overthrow him. The escalation can be compared to when Cromwell and his followers, the Roundheads, start to become more popular and help with the overthrow and execution of Charles I. This leads us into the radical phase, which is when Cromwell leads Great Britain in a military dictatorship, which is very unpopular, and soon causes Britain to fall into the reactionary phase, which is the restoration of the monarchy, and even letting the son of their once hated king rule. The English Civil War not only follows the outline of a revolution, but follows the details of what happens during it. There are impossible demands made by the people of the government and the unsuccessful attempts of the government to suppress the revolutionaries. Once the revolutionaries gain power, they seem stable, but in fact are not, and lose power quickly. That causes them to go back to their old type of government. We can also see how this is a revolution, not only because of how perfectly it follows the anatomy of a revolution, but because of how similar it is to the French Revolution. People are unsatisfied with their government, so they overthrow it, and then a radical is put in charge, like Napoleon. And lastly, they go back to their original form of government. This also shows a unit theme of the one versus the few and the struggle for power between the two. And that usually leads to revolutions. Oliver Cromwell and Napoleon are very similar because they both even took territory for the benefit of their countries. Napoleon took France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Italy, and most of Germany. And for the benefit of Britain, Oliver Cromwell took Scotland and Ireland. The English Civil War is a time where we see nationalism starting to pop up when the people overthrow Cromwell for the good of Great Britain and her people. Nationalism is, as we later see, the number one cause of revolutions, like the revolutions of 1848. The English Civil War is not a civil war. Instead, it is a revolution. Not only because of how perfectly it follows the anatomy of a revolution, but how it is almost exactly like the French Revolution.